So here we are with episode 24, the final episode of the Apothecary Diaries. Last episode, we got to see the tragedy behind Lakan and Fengxian due to a lack of emotional intelligence from Lakan and also just a lack of communication overall. And so we'll just have to see what is going to happen in this episode. I also hear that season 2 has been greenlit as well, if I remember correctly. If not, feel free to correct it for me. But if you guys like the video, like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. I do have my full length up on Patreon and early access in the YouTube memberships. Other than that, let us get started. Fengxian. Did he try before? It's a bet. I'll have to try again another time. Ooh. I wonder how to take my revenge, this man. If I show you, maybe you might be. Oh, I'll let you have your pick. Alright. So let's see who he's buying out. Just seeing her smoke with just like a head like that, it's so funny. Yeah, wouldn't she be a lot? They all look like ghost stones to me. There's another option over here. Oh, yeah, she's just singing. Oh. Oh. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my god. It sounded like shards were breaking. So he didn't know this whole time. That's why he says, like, I want to be with the daughter she left behind. Oh, it's a full moon. God, that moon is humongous. The waves are gonna get fucked up by that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll fucking double it. Wow. See, look, he's like, 100,000 is a little bit much. Nah, I'll double it. Oh, even wilted still retains his shape. I don't have any fucking napkins. Why of all times I have no napkins? Wait, hold on. Oh, at least he's saying it quietly, huh? she says with bags under her eyes. Is that a sleepwear? I think so. He's able to land that shot. Never talks to you outside of your office. How did she figure that one? Oh, from her stepdad, her adopted dad. Yeah. And when he's wrong. The tragic. The tragedy, I mean. Ooh, this son of a bitch. Unfortunately, Jinshi's already on his shit list. He has a father. Gaoshin. God, the animation studio's just really out here trying to flex with all that fucking flapping on her clothes. Oh my god. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yet another weird woman climbing. Maybe he had a feeling. Ah. A notice of leave. Oh wow. A 10-day vacation. Jesus Christ. Nobody's getting any sleep. Mm-hmm. Okay, I was wondering about that. Because, like, she was looking at that finger, but it's fully. It's a good thing she only cut it. Whoops, again! Dude, I tell you, that's going to be a fucking scar by the end of this. He's just gonna do it right there. Oh. Holy shit. Damn, this man just jumped off that building like that? Oh, you're injured. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Oh, it's the thing that he offered her, right? The whatever that ingredient is. Oh shit! So that's more of his true self. Oh, okay. I'm over here admiring my items. Okay, having an open end. Let me consider that. Okay, after. Oh yeah, it is season 2 production confirmed. Okay, yeah. So season 2 is coming, so that's why they're having this sort of ending. Well, I guess I'll go write some notes and we will be right back to the center. Alright, so that was the final episode of the Apothecary Diaries with, you know, season 2 coming as well. It's confirmed anyways. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. Let me know what you guys think about the anime as a whole. And for me, I thought that this episode in the beginning, very emotional, right? I kind of expected it to be emotional because I really like but also very unfortunate that this story had ended in tragedy, kind of like with what I was talking about. Not kind of like what I don't know. I was trying to segue into Meimei. But in terms of Meimei and how it seems like her story is quite similar to Fengxian and how she wants to get bought out because she kind of has a crush on this other dude who's also playing chess or go with her. Except she has she's seen the mistake of the past, which is with Fengxian, and how she never really communicated to Lakan about her feelings for him. So all we have to hope is that Meimei's story will work out a whole lot better. And I would assume it will, consider that she sees the mistake that has happened in the past before, and she's learned from that. So with Lakan having to buy out a courtesan, with Maomao giving him a hint that her mother is still alive, but Lakan this whole time just assumed that she's not here anymore, that she's gone. And the old lady, the grandma, has been keeping this a secret, been keeping her hidden inside this auxiliary place for the longest time. So Lakan never knew about that, and it's so funny that Maomao's just like, you wonder if he figured out this hint? Maybe he didn't. And he probably wouldn't have if Meimei hadn't taken the chance and opened the door, and, Fengxian is just happened to be singing her usual lullaby. And it was fun, but also a little touching when Lakan, at first, when he was talking to the grandma, he was just like, oh, how much do I have to pay? Oh, I'd pay 10, 20,000, but like 100,000? That's a lot. That's a lot. But then he finds out that Fengxian is alive, and he's just like, look, I will double it. All right, I'll pay 200,000 for her. And it's just so tragic, but also lovely at the same time. It's very, very sad, and especially from what we hear from Maomao, right? That Fengxian doesn't really have a lot left to live anyways. I mean, her disease is continuing to ravish her. Kind of makes me wonder what Maomao still wants to do in terms of, like, the resurrection drugs, right? If she believes that her... I don't know, because she keeps saying that towards the end, right, with Maomao saying that, she's not my mother anymore, I'm happy to... Well, she was never my mother, so she never had memories. She doesn't have memories of her being a mother anymore, and I'm happy enough to be Lumen's daughter. Perhaps that's her reaching her conclusion of finally being able to let her mother go. Like, she shares a very complex relationship with her mom, where she, says some, she's like, stupid woman. It's like, sort of, she kind of makes these offhand comments, but she in the end is the person who keeps going to her mom and, like, giving her the drug, even though she could let anybody do it, specifically Meimei, since Meimei's the one who seems like that takes care of Fengxian. And she is, in the end, the person who led Lakan on over to Fengxian so then he could buy her out. But I suppose that could, in itself, reach the conclusion that she wanted, in that Lakan buys her out, and so Maomao doesn't specifically have to see her or, like, take care of her anymore. Perhaps. So we just have to see what Maomao really wants when it comes to the resurrection drug. And if the resurrection drug is actually real or not, huh? We've also got a speculation from Maomao saying that maybe it was Lakan who was tricked, because if Fengxian is able to control whenever he comes over by just writing the letter, right, she could have done it when it's prime time for her to get pregnant, and that just so happens to be the one time that they ended up sleeping with one another. And she never really said her feelings out to Lakan, and Lakan, again, unfortunately, just doesn't really have all that great of an emotional intelligence. But you can't really blame him too much, consider his condition, and then consider of the place that he works in, which is the military, which often is probably going to just be filled with dudes. So he's probably just never really experienced this whole thing before, so he's just, so like he's a strategist when it comes to military stuff, but when it comes to actually emotions and, connecting with other people, he doesn't fucking understand that. So the both of them, unfortunate with each other, the lack of communication that never really fucking went anywhere. So that all happened, and Maomao did mention that Fengxian could have used any other medication to basically abort Maomao at the time, but she didn't. She'd rather keep the baby, and because of that, she went mad knowing that it didn't work out, right? What is it? Lakan had said that he might have been gone for only 6 months, but in the end, it was actually 3 years, and by then, the Vertiger's house had gone through a bad time, and Fengxian had to go and sleep with multiple men who ended up giving her the condition that she has, which I currently can't remember for some reason. So it's just overall very sad, tragic story. And in the end, even though Fengxian doesn't have a lot of she doesn't have a lot of time left, right? At least she's still, in the end, is able to spend the last, years of her life finally being with Lakan. But as Meimei says, as she fucking cries about it, she's just like, this is too late. If only you'd been honest with yourself. Ah, man. Yeah, this whole fucking first scene is just so sad. So sad. With Maomao talking a little bit about Lakan, she did make mention at some point that she was feeling a little jealous, right? She felt a little jealous on how blessed he was. He's a talented man, but he is very lazy, and he doesn't want to actually take action because, well, I mean, he's a strategist. All he really fucking plays is Go and chess. So why should he do it, right? He's the guy moving the pieces. He's not the pieces being moved. But she is jealous of his talent and the fact that, his talent would be praised by Lumen. And she's upset that Lakan didn't take action, and it made her lose her chance of getting the resurrection drug. And she did say that she said, I don't hate him, but I do dislike him. To which Gaoshan tells her, remember that no father wants to be disliked. And as we've learned, that Gaoshan is a father, right? And so he's able to understand how Lakan feels. And especially, I'd say that I was thinking about, like, I don't know, there are some fucking deadbeat fathers who doesn't give a shit. But then again, if that's the case, I don't really think they're considered fathers. They may have sired the child, but, like, if they don't give a shit about their kid, they don't give a damn if their kid hates them or not, I don't think that they're fathers, right? And so here's Gaoshan actually being able to relate to Lakan and just let Maomao know, right? Even, Lakan, this whole time, as what we've seen, he's been trying for a very long time to try to, I was supposed to say get with her, but, like, that sounds wrong. Trying to get her contract, right? Trying to get her to live with him so that he could, at the very least, be close to Fengxian in a way, because at the time, right, he still believed that Fengxian is gone and not within his grasp anymore. First half I really like. Second half we've got a little bit of dancing from Maomao, which I've kind of made note that I don't particularly care much for these song segments. Not really my thing. That was just the animation studio flexing on how fucking wavy her goddamn dress is. And then they got, like, the shawl and everything. I'm just over here thinking about, like, man, must be really good dancing up there. And, like, the fact that the shawl just doesn't even fly off of her. Though I did wonder where they left Maomao's clothes, because you didn't get to see it during her dancing. But, had to get rid of it, because not a detail that we need to know. But then the clothes get picked back up later. After Jinchi takes her and, like, fucking jumps off the goddamn wall without breaking his fucking ankles or anything. You know what? Jinchi's lucky that he's, like, 19 or something. If he was 25, his knees and his ankles would have fucking cried out. But that's pretty much it for what I thought about this episode and for my thoughts for the anime as a whole. I will say I've mentioned that there are episodes that I felt like were kind of one-offs, but then as we kind of see later on, that they do have connections with each other, especially here in the second half, right? All these connections that point together to the assassination attempt of Jinchi, to which, maybe if I watch it again, knowing that that's how that was going to play out, it might be a little bit better, or it might not, but my initial reactions to, my initial thoughts to those episodes is, I don't really vibe with them, not really my thing, I don't really care much for those episodes. And, like, we've kind of have some of those episodes in the first half as well, but I will say the first half I really enjoyed because we got to learn more about they're called the concubines, right? Yeah, the concubines, and I really enjoyed their stories, and I enjoyed overall the area of the rear palace. So then when we went over to the outer palace, not the rear palace anymore, we started to get more, I think more or less we kind of just scratched out a lot of characters, like a lot of the bigger group of characters, and we end up honing in more for Gaoshen and Jinshi and Gaoshen's son, whose name I currently can't remember. Batson? Is that what his name is? Sorry, it's not concubine, it's consort, the pure consort. Yeah, we've got, like, introduced to Lulan, but Lulan is still very much a piece that's going to be played later on, which, now that we have a season 2, right, I would presume we're going to see more of her. I will say, initially, when the second half started, I kind of didn't like it as much, just because, you know, it's change, and I don't like change. Ooh, how dare they? Ooh, they're focusing a little bit more on Jinchi, how dare they? I don't care about Jinchi. Give me my consorts back. But as the episode continued, and then we also have those episodes that I told you about, like, you know, the ones with, like, the weaponsmith, not the weaponsmith, but the metal workers and stuff. Like, those episodes I don't really care much about, so felt like I wasn't really vibing with part 2 as much. But I will say, as we started getting more into, like, the whole thing with Lakan, and they just kind of been building it all up to these last 2 episodes, and I really enjoyed the payoff. I really enjoyed the payoff with Lakan, because I really enjoyed his story and the unfortunate tragedy and just the lack of communication that happened that resorted to this tragedy. So I like the payoff for part 2, but I feel like I'd still very much prefer part 1. But consider that we're getting a season 2, right? We're probably going to just continue on with where we are. Well, actually, no, she is technically back at the Rear Palace. So I would presume maybe we will get a little bit more of the Rear Palace, especially with this build-up that they've been doing for Lulan. Who knows? Who knows? Because, like, they really introduced her, and then, like, she just is barely there. And then she barely says anything. So I'm just like, oh, fucking great, you know? Hopefully season 2 she'll get more lines. Oh, the one thing that I like about part 2 is that we did get to see more of the 3 princesses, right? The Joka, Meimei, and why can't I remember the third one? Technically the first that we've seen, Paiden, there you go. We did get to see 3 of them. We got a little bit more of Paiden and Meimei more than we did Joka, so perhaps season 2 comes in, maybe we get to see a little bit more of Joka as well. Who knows? That's kind of just my expectation for season 2. Overall, I really like the setting, the time period, and the music that accompanies this time period, which I really fucking love. I love these, like, these old Chinese instruments that they play. It's just so fucking good. Really enjoy it. The one thing that makes this anime overall great and very enjoyable for everybody, right, is the fact that Maomao as the main character is just she's such a great character, right? She's like a secret ingredient for the show, and other than, you know, the big awe of it being set in this time period. My mind is currently blank right now. I feel like I'm missing something, but other than the blankness in my head, the only other thing that's kind of like poking through this whiteness is just the fact that I did enjoy part 1 a lot more than I did part 2. But I enjoyed how part 2 ended. Well, not particularly how it ended, but I like the payoff of part 2. But other than that, if I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around for this whole season, if you have been here, or for this whole series, I mean, if you have been here, and, you know, I don't know, I might watch season 2. Who knows? We'll just have to see when it comes out. But until then, I will see you guys when I see you.